And we are live, everyone. Welcome. Let's begin. Through the spyglass of a shattered wall, you see the sky is falling. Dozens of shooting stars crash to Earth, basking the sky in a curtain of white streaks. Yet, this incredible marvel is second to the situation which you find yourselves presently within. You have breached the memory vault within the Mage Tower of the Vergent Empire. Your new home has been a prison to some and a school to others. To you, it has been a perspective upon the truth of the treatment of magical kind within this society. As flashes of lost memories blink back, your attention is drawn to the shimmering blue stone which has pierced the thick walls of this tower and now sits on the floor before you. A distraction, though, perhaps, compared to the presence of Headmaster Barrows, who stands ahead of you. As his gaze takes in the sight of your party, what will you do?
Has it been? Really?
Has it been, you asked? Or how has it been?
Has it been? How long has it been?
How long has it been since... Oh, you're asking him that.
Yes.
Thank you, I understand now. He will say, not long. But days have you lost since your arrival here. Tell me,
I believe that.
what other questions have you? I'm certain they are many. Or few. Perhaps.
I'm sorry to cut you off, Headmaster. However, don't you think it a bit fortuitous that the sky has deemed to destroy your walls? No?
Fortuitous. To some. Fateful. To all. What is it to you?
A sign just like everything else.
And what kind of sign do you think that is?
It is a sign that all things must change. If it does not grow, it dies. This place is a dying relic. Just like yourself. It's time.
There is more truth than you know to your words. Continue. What do you know?
Nevertheless, as Bernardo just keeps slowly advancing towards him, he's saying, what do you intend to do now that we know the truth of what you've done?
That depends entirely on what you all choose to do. As I see it, and he begins walking to pass you, Bernardo. Are you going to do anything or allow him to continue?
I'm going to allow him to continue and take up a position behind him.
All right.
Kind of keeping like a 5-foot space in between us.
Excellent. Stepping past you, Rhiannon, he peers out into the pierced sky and says, paths are to you open that were not before. And choices. Choices of destiny. Choices of fate. Shall I explain them to you? Or would one of you like to lay them out?
What do you know about our destiny or our fate when you've played a lovely hand in changing that?
Changing? No. Augmenting? Certainly. I have invested an interest in those fates that are yours. For each of you has something special about you. I believe in short time you will come to realize it as well. But now, he places one hand in gesture towards the opening. You may leave. He moves another hand to direct towards the doors from which you enter this chamber. It says, you may stay, or, this is his hands on his own chest, you may come with me. What piques your interest upon this shining moment, based only on trajectory?
Rhiannon looks out that opening now. Does it look like, is it just a straight shot out of, like, does it look like there's anything surrounding us from our vantage point?
Sure. What you can see is that black night with the streaks of white as meteors perhaps crash down, like the one which is directly next to Bernardo, that I presume he hasn't touched just yet.
Not yet.
There is probably about 5 to 10 feet of thick black stone wall of the exterior of the tower through which this pierced that would need be traversed if exit was to be desired. Beyond that, you can, I would say, begin to hear the whistling winds of the frozen south within which you are.
Has it any colder than when we got it?
Has it gotten colder? Yeah, it has, in fact.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because Rhiannon's still actually, like, sitting on the floor. She hasn't stood up.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks, so she's looking out that window, pulls her sweater a little tighter, and then looks back at the door, back out into the halls.
Mm-hmm.
As she looks at the door, Bernardo nods to her.
Oh, that's the other thing. Because we found it. Where are Salave's memories?
Ah. I don't recall particularly which vial I had denoted. But allow me to say it is this one to your direct south, Rihanna. If that is an item of desire for you all.
Yeah, where is the headmaster looking?
Right now, he is surveying the three of you. He has his back to Bernardo.
Okay, that doesn't help me at all. All right.
But
I just kind of give Bernard, I just kind of like look like I'm looking at things, but also nodding at Bernard. Casually as I can.
He says, the headmaster now says, but allow me to elaborate. For the subtleties of your choices are perhaps not clear to you. You have broken the veil of knowledge which has been intentionally placed between the students of this tower and its realities. You are beginning, I assume, to reintegrate that which was borrowed. And now, you choose a fate between a cold survival alone in the mists and the winds, between returning with this knowledge and what consequences it might naturally bear, or to follow a new path, to follow a path to power. Though I warned you not to do as you have done, I am a humble man. He takes a step back so that he might look upon all of you. Says, let me show you power which might bring freedom to all mages within Cadlia. And with this, he pulls one of his sleeves up to reveal his arm. With his right hand, he reaches into a pocket on his robe, pulls what he now places upon his pointer finger, a full finger ring, the pointed golden talon upon it. Places that point onto one of his veins, tears, blood flows down his arm. You watch then as he speaks the simple incantations of a mage armor spell, and that blood flows into his magic and reinforces the shimmering shield that appears before fading from your vision, though remaining. It says, "The power of blood has been sealed away for many years by the Virgin Empire. True door to the next age. I have practiced it for many years. And for magical savants such as the three of you, I believe it will come quickly. And so, I offer you all a position of apprenticeship to myself."
Is there any kind of druid knowledge of magic involving blood?
Arcana check.
Oh crap! I'm dumb as a brick. Well, this will be fun. Yep, dumb as a brick. Yep. No clue.
You know nothing.
I have forgotten what blood actually is.
Gina, you've been quiet. I'm curious where Aaron's thoughts have been during this time.
She's been observing this whole thing and she's not quite sure what to think yet.
Fair enough.
Bernardo speaks to the headmaster in an attempt to get his attention so that he can focus on Bernardo again, and Rhiannon and Aaron can move about a little more freely. He's going to use deception in order to do such a thing, but he's going to say, "Apprenticeship, like the other instructors? If they are indeed your apprentices, then why do they not wish to be here?"
The instructors? No, you'd be taking a position above them. After all, a fair offer needs to be made. Alliance is to be built from such a position of shambles as you stand in.
There's no shambles here. I think you are misreading the situation, my friend.
Indeed. Then tell me, how should I be reading it differently?
Has Rhiannon or Aaron done anything at this point?
Is he not
So
paying attention?
roll your
No.
deception check, because I understand you're mostly just trying to capture his attention. Okay. His attention seems focused on your perspective right now, Bernardo.
Okay, if that's the case, then I'm gonna still not standing up to cause too much attention, but kind of slide across the floor in between these two tables.
And make me a sleight of hand check if you'd like to grab that vial.
That is exactly what I was doing. Welcome to I Can't Roll Today.
As you take it off the table, there's a distinct clank, clank, clank as it bounces against the edge of it. From your gaze, Bernardo, the headmaster's eyes shoot to the side, observing in his periphery Rhiannon's action, and then refocus on you again.
Brianna pulls her arm down, so she still got the bottle. She knows that she was seen, but she still got it.
I'm sorry, what's the name of this individual that's with us again?
Absolutely. Are you asking about Lulubelle or
Yes.
Headmaster Barrows?
Lulubelle. Bernardo will address the room and say, "The headmaster and I have some discussions to have. Philosophical, theological, martial perhaps. If you wish to stay and participate, be my guest. However, now would be a good time for those of you who don't wish to observe such things to make your exit. As he moves towards the headmaster and says, "My goddess has given me knowledge about certain things that are occurring, certain unholy things, certain things that should not be. Perhaps one has extended his life far beyond what it should have been. What do you know of this?"
I wonder, as I have seen what you have seen now, if those items which you seek in this tower might be of greater interest than my mystique. Stones of Io? 6 of them there are. Several of them I believe you have. I know where several more are, and if indeed they are all within this tower, I am certain that together we can find them all. Lulu at this point has just kind of moved close to you, Aaron. She is now kind of looking towards you quietly and whispering, what's he up to? What are we going to do?
Honestly, I'm just kind of observing and waiting to see what happens because I'm not really sure.
She nods and says, let me actually make a roll for her to inform what she says next. Okay. I feel uneasy, she says, and my memories can't be owned by just anyone. They might not be seen immediately for what they are, but in time, they'll know. The eons.
Question. What happened to the bottles on the broken table?
Shattered, their contents spilling onto the floor.
So just lots of liquid memories combining, basically? It's not like... okay, so it's just
combining, seeping into the cracks of the floor, being lost forever.
It's cosmic
that's
soup.
Horrific.
So basically, Bernardo's at the peak moment where you guys need to do something. I mean, he's pretty much done what he can to give you an opening, so whatever you're gonna do it now.
Headmaster, I have a quick question.
Indeed. He will step to this point, turning so he might keep you and Bernardo within his view.
What happened to Elvina?
Yes. She searched for this place. She found it. Found a way in. She gave you all away. And then...
what happened to her?
Well, let me say clearly, no harm has come to her. Yet. But allow me to sweeten the pot, as to say, your actions today might influence that outcome.
So, we're basically being blackmailed. Excellent.
Can we have an out-of-character discussion?
Absolutely.
He needs us for something, otherwise this would have already been resolved.
Oh, completely.
Oh, it would have suffered probably the same fate as Elvina.
Exactly. So why is he offering us a position above the other instructors? Not because we're quote-unquote special. There's something that he's lacking.
Entirely.
So what are you guys going to do? Because I'm about, I'm out of tricks. I only have persuasion and deception.
I want to get as much information out of this guy as possible. So I'm willing to follow. But I'm also going to keep Salave's memories in my pocket.
Are you
Literally.
gonna jump out the window, or are you gonna run out into the tower?
Oh no, I want to hear him out. But like I
mean,
said,
at the end of that.
I've got Salive's memories. I'm running into the tower.
Aaron, what are you planning on doing?
At that point, following Rhiannon.
You might not be able to.
Or
I do have a trick up my sleeve that could get me out of the way for 8 hours. The floor and I can become friends, okay?
probably
Nothing to stone.
probably stick around the tower.
Yeah.
Because it's not really a good idea to just jump out by yourself.
Well,
Are
that's the
you,
other. It's cold outside.
Are you guys thinking about taking his offer?
Yeah, I am. Again, because I want to know what he's up to.
Okay, well that's the difference between attacking him to buy you some time,
No, do not.
or
Do not attack the man who just cast blood mage armor.
minor trickery.
Listen,
Bernardo's seen it a
Rhiannon may
million
be
times in the back alleys of his...
Rhiannon may be dumb as a brick, but that looked like a whole lot of mage armor. Not good.
All right, well then I'll go along with him, but ask your questions.
Yeah, no, so okay. All right.
Fair
So
enough.
what you're turn back to him. So what you're saying is we have to go along with you so Alvina's safe. Certainly.
I suppose that would weight the decision in such a way. Allow me to alter the offer. So long as you do not oppose my interests, that is, actively curtail them, Alvina goes unharmed. But the moment that you choose the side of order, the side of imperialism, divinity, or seek to disrupt what I have built, what I am building, what will cause the cracks in the Virgin Empire's rule become fissures, your friend will undergo no harm. And you join me, you might even have a hand in her fate. But there is but another thing here. He moves again, of note and interest, stepping over the ruined table. Stand next to this glowing blue stone from beyond, placing his hand above it, moving his fingers slowly. You seem to sense the casting of some form of magical detection spell. Just gives a strange. Of the beyond indeed, he says. This is a mystery to even myself. What think you all on its arrival?
I think there's only so much that men can do to stop what is already in the world.
Shall I? And he slowly begins to move his hand towards the stone.
Rhiannon pulls herself up between the two tables, just using the two tables. I would leave that alone. But then again, I've been taught to respect things that fall from the sky that I don't understand.
He recoils his hand. And now moves back to lean against this table. Say, the next move is to all of you at this time. We'll wait. And he softly crosses his arms, that golden claw draped across his still bleeding, unrobed arm.
Does the stone look similar to the dust everybody's been getting high off of?
Not at all.
Okay.
It is
Just make sure.
smooth, even if there are fissures in it.
It was more of a color question.
Substance is this light blue, this soft shimmer, not the crystalline green dust.
Okay, so totally different colors. Good. Okay.
Bernardo
Hopefully
just
not a new thing for everybody to
kind
high
of
off of.
has a thought, like an internal thought, kind of searching for his blade's presence, and he just kind of, not whimsically, but with a little bit of amusement, says something to the effect of, "You did send this, right?"
The voice returns with a, "Oh no, Han. This is above even me."
So that everyone else just sees him just kind of give a little chuckle.
At this point, I know it's only been a few days, but I'm already used to this nonsense. I turn to Headmaster. Fine. Let's say I take your offer. Because obviously going back to status quo is not exactly possible. As long as I stay out of your way, Alvina's safe.
Yes.
I look over to Lulu.
She looks uncertain, shrugs a bit.
And Lulu, too. You keep her safe, too.
He says, "Sure. She is a curiosity of herself."
She's a person.
You are all people, and you are all curiosities.
I'm not something to be stored on a shelf. Fine, I'll take you up on your offer.
Good. He reaches back behind him, take a vial that is empty, uncorks it, and then, with a slow but steady telekinesis, floats the uncorked vial to you and says, "I don't need your memories anymore, but I do need a little bit of your blood to seal this arrangement."
Before you do that, did
Yeah.
you pick up on his statement of older than, how my statement was a little more correct than I know?
Yeah.
Do you think he could be one of the original 3 that we played in the intro? Like going back to the beginning of the adventure?
Oh. Because see, again, like in Rhiannon's mind, it's like, what? I know people who are 1,000 years old. Where else? Whatever.
Right, but how they destroyed him, it could be that they
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of took some of his essence somehow, or the tower turned into, the tower has some sort of
Now that you've
property that,
mentioned it, yes.
because there were things that I think it was Aaron was searching while we weren't there. We don't know everything that happened, but those people were super powerful, and we were rendered helpless by the tower, not by them. That's what I understood. No?
When they were defeated, the Exaris mages were weakened by grenades of shards of Vergent crystal thrown by the founders of the Vergent Empire.
Okay, the crystal. Okay, and that's not what the tower's made of.
No.
Okay, I just remember some stuff in the basement where, people were looking around and we saw some funky things, but
Yes, the character which Gina played, as you correctly noted, Tarum Jacksonaire, did descend to the lower levels of the Mage Tower upon the conclusion of that story before returning and being defeated along with the rest.
So my crazy mind thinks they took him, somehow harvested his power, learned blood magic, and this guy is a direct kind of result or descendant of said occurrence. Anyways, just a thought.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, Rhiannon is gonna find something small and sharp to just prick her finger and.
Alright. Drizzle some blood into that vial. That's fine. Then he will hold his hand up, float the vial back through the air, and angle it towards Bernardo with a curious look.
I don't give in so easily. We still have much to discuss.
And he'll return it to his own hand.
I'm leaning towards acceptance. However, what do we gain? Apprenticeship can mean many things, but ultimately, it is the master that has the power, not the apprentice. Apprentices are doomed to lives of servitude. Why would we accept this?
Why indeed. For if unlocked be powers of blood for you, then would you not be simply my vassals? Or could perhaps that ever slowly growing power give you the opportunity to supplant me? One might make the same argument of the position of the power you are poised to gain, to caution myself from making such an offer. As I see it, you are poised to gain much. And I poised to humbly share my knowledge.
Insight check.
Roll.
Wah, 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 wah.
He seems direct.
That was
and
the biggest
straightforward.
bullshit answer I could have ever heard. Bernardo knows a bullshitter.
Okay. He'll then turn his gaze towards you, Aaron. Slowly float this crystal vial towards you. Say, what think you? Is my offer of interest?
Yeah.
Then he'll float it to your hand. You now have this vial with several drops of Rhiannon's blood in it. Will you add to it? Make a different
Yes.
choice? Okay. I imagine you all have a needle or some such thing within the general supplies you enjoy as hero in role-playing world, which you can prick and join. He'll then float it towards Lulu, who will say, I go last. Bernardo has to be in as well. In which case, the headmaster slowly floats the vial back to his own hand before turning to our halfling. Halfling? Or gnome? Do remind me.
He's a halfling.
Our halfling friend. Say, so, shall we grow together? Achieve
Well, it
together.
would seem that you have convinced the others, and so I'm never one to miss out on a good adventure or story. He pulls his blade, and he's kind of stalling for time at this point. He's like, Io, say something. Io, say something.
Okay.
And I don't know if he's hearing anything.
If you are pressuring her to give insight, then she certainly will pick up on those thoughts and do so for you.
It was kind of like he's about to screw up everything royally, and he's hoping somebody tells him, hey, no, don't do that.
Yeah. Io will speak to you in your mind, Bernardo, and say, honey, this could be really good. Quick path to what we're seeking here. But you're also signing yourselves off to somebody we don't know a lot about and who oozes power. I don't know if that's a good idea. Your friends are convinced by his wiles. Are they in the right? Are they in the wrong? I can't say. And I can't direct you, other than to say the quickest and easiest way this is. The steep slope might lead to a quick fall, a tumble.
He stopped listening after she said the easiest way, and he just thinks to himself, "Sold!" And he agrees.
Just like
Says,
that.
"Well, might as well get it over with."
Okay. And so
He
the vial
he
is
did not
floated to you.
interpret what she said very well.
Okay. Fair enough. The vial is floated to you, Bernardo. Will you add your blood to it?
He pulls out his blade and makes like uses a lot of flourish to make a little tiny pinprick and squeeze one drop into the thing.
And then he'll float it to Lulu, who will ask Erin for her needle. And then Rick can add hers as well. The headmaster will float it back to himself, and then carefully prick his own finger to add a drop of his own blood before corking the vial to say, "Just so that we're all in agreement. Act made." And then floats the vial inside of his robes, pulls them shut. And with a smile says, "So, let us begin."
I'm gonna actually put Salafe's vial in my pocket.
Sure.
Yeah, just because he hasn't done anything about it.
He will say, "Come, my new apprentices. Let us attempt to discern the nature of the beyond. Call it a first assignment. Come, all gather round. Let us all not touch it quite yet. Let us learn from this stone." As you are looking upon this, how will you all attempt to discern anything about this celestial body that has fallen from the sky? And Aaron, will you approach along with the rest?
Yes.
What will you do? It's a strange, glowing blue rock. It sits in the floor where it has clearly landed. It's as if all of the power of its descent was expended, crashing through this wall where it came, and it just sort of thudded with a heavy splat onto the floor here, leaving this crater and where it is embedded in the ground, but not piercing the floors beneath it of the tower. The headmaster will continue to monitor it with his detect magic spell. As is, he will now strike himself again just a little bit and empower it with his blood. He will say to you all, "So, how will you seek to unlock destiny?"
Bernardo's going to use the force of his will to just bore his mind deep into it to discover its secrets.
Make an intelligence and an arcana check. We will take one of those rolls.
His force of will.
Ah, I see your angle. Make an arcana and a charisma check. We will take the higher of those two rolls.
Is 8. So a charisma check is just hitting charisma, correct?
That's right. And allow me also to mark the damage that has been taken by Headmaster Barrows. Charisma is 12. You attempt to exert your presence against this thing. And as you do, Bernardo, you feel resistance. It's not as if there's nothing to sense here. It is as if you are repulsed. You're unsuccessful, but you have learned something.
At that point, he is going to... hold on. Does Hexblade Curse give the target a disadvantage on like an ability? I thought it did, but I'm not seeing that. It's been a while since I played it.
I think Hex is what you're thinking of, the spell.
Hex, okay. I'm gonna just curse it with my Hexblade's Curse, just because it, repulsed my invasion of its secrets, and that irritated me. So,
All right, you latch your Hexblade's Curse on to the presence that sits with this rock, and you watch as tendrils of purple energy flow out of the cracks within it to encase it in a shield of magical energy of source. And then that shield bursts forth, taking shape as an elemental, blasting you all backwards with its arrival. Roll initiative.
yes, there was something.
You jerk.
We find new species and kill them.
You said it's an elemental? Just want to make sure.
It is.
Okay, cool.
All right, we just need Aaron initiative. Ooh. It's 2 nat 1s on the initiative for the others in this encounter.
Well, that is dumb.
8. Excellent. Rhiannon, you act first. What are you going to do as this creature manifests and gives a... Do you speak elemental?
I do not.
Okay.
However, yeah, I can understand beasts. I can't understand
Not a beast.
elementals. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine.
What you got?
We're gonna try and keep this thing from moving. I'm gonna cast Earthbind.
Earthbind. Interesting. Go for it. Okay. And that is a save DC strength.
I'm gonna pass it, but I wanted to give it a chance.
Fail. You watch as the stone of the tower wraps around like an inverse tornado up into the sort of base of where its chest would be if it were a humanoid creature. And it seems restrained by that.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere, bud.
It gives a... You have anything else in your turn?
Yeah, I'm gonna move. Because no.
Aaron, you are up.
Go hide over here.
So I guess we're attacking it?
It certainly seems hostile.
It threw us across the room.
And I would say it's balling up its fists.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I'm gonna go join Rhiannon in the corner.
Hey!
Go to the corner.
It's a good place to be. Welcome. Come to my corner.
I'm gonna send a little Eldritch Blast at it.
Eldritch Blast? Did you take a
Spell
warlock level?
I think I took some sort of feat
Oh, really? Is that level 4 feat you took for Warlock Magic Adept, maybe?
I believe so.
Cool. All right. Eldritch Energy. Let's see it. 9. 9 is
Maybe
not
not.
going to hit, but I think you get 2 beams with that because you're level 5. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes.
23 will hit for 4 force damage. And I will always ask this question, as Eldritch Blast is a reflection of whatever patronic deity has infused it within the user, which Aaron may have no knowledge of at this time, but what color and how does your blast appear?
Oh, it's gonna be like a reddish orange.
Reddish orange. Beautiful. Screaming through the air, striking this elemental creature. It bellows again, and each time it bellows, it sounds almost like the mix between a roaring beast and a humming mechanical engine that we know of modernity. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. And Bernardo, what is your dexterity?
It is 14.
14. Okay, so the headmaster acts ahead of you. The magic elemental is now up, and it is going to use its legendary action, Magic Pull. I need you all to make a dexterity saving throw to attempt to evade a wave of magical energy that emanates out from the creature and then pulls back in. Bernardo, you
So
are pulled. Yes.
So even with my halfling luck, I still rolled a 6 afterwards.
Awesome.
Not really.
So wait, where do we get? Oh, we're right next to it now.
And,
Yeah.
Yep. And
That's fine.
That
It's
is
fine. Everything's fine. It can't fly, so that's good.
Yoink.
Anyways.
And then lastly, Lulu with the 12. Everybody is up
Lulu's
once.
not in initiative. Is she just moving with
She,
Barrows?
yeah, she will. She'll go in his turn.
Okay. I just wanted to.
I tend to condense my NPC turns
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just
when
wanted to
they're
make sure.
on the same side. All right. Barrows is in melee range. And he is going to, I think, simply cast a magic missile. Doesn't know what's necessarily going on with this thing. He's going to cast a magic missile here, and he is going to, as he does so, strike his arm again with his blood claw ring. So that is going to be 3 missiles of the 5 force damage for the first level, and then that is going to cast an additional 6 missiles, as it is a 7th level spell invoked. And that means it is going to be 5 times 3, so 15, and then 5 times 6. So we've got 45 damage, if my math is correct. Yes? Yes. That is a bloodied creature. As he strikes himself, and these missiles, red as blood, pum, 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 slam into the edge of the elemental, bloodying it. Lulu is gonna just cast a normal magic missile for 9 points. You are up, Bernardo.
Bernardo is going to take his blade and furiously attack at this creature's, let's call it the facial region.
Perfect.
As he's one to, when he would think back to his duels back when he was younger, in a bar perhaps, he was known for disfiguring his opponents and leaving a scar on their face. So, it's already cursed, he shall... And I'm going to Eldritch Smite that.
Lovely. All right.
So the smite is 1d8 plus another 1d8 per spell level, so it's 3rd level. So it's another 3d8. Is it huge or is it large?
It is a large creature.
Alright, so it's not knocked prone. So 3d8 more.
Is that doubled again because you crit?
Okay.
Big damage.
I think so. I don't know. You're
Yeah.
the boss.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, I'm just gonna sit here.
Okay. So we've got 15 and 8 and 11, and then that critical takes it to 3 more d8. How would you like to finish off this elemental, Bernardo?
Okay.
He's a little surprised at his power, but he's faking it for the benefit of the others, as he just hits it in the face, and then you see his blade kind of vibrate for a little bit. As the tip of it was stuck inside, the vibration centers at the tip, and then the thing just explodes into fragments everywhere.
As those fragments settle down and dissipate into almost a mist, we are out of combat as the creature is destroyed.
Okay.
Headmaster
happened.
smiles and says, "Well fought. You all strike with conviction. This is necessary if you are to succeed in this cruel world." He steps forward to here and says, "Now," extending his hand above the rock.
Wait,
Shall
wait.
I?
Rhiannon just quickly gets on the other opposite. Yes.
And he places his palm upon the stone. No reaction.
Okay, fine. I feel better though because I'm better far away. Thank you.
Curious. I challenge you all to attempt to investigate what this may be in your various ways. What stone from the skies might crash here and many other places. And in that, what should next be done with it?
Bernardo will take a moment to recollect if Io is the goddess of magic. I don't actually.
She is a goddess of knowledge.
Of knowledge, and so he'll just say out loud, mumbling, kind of, "This is above Io. It did not come from her. There are other forces out there."
She will add the context for you, Bernardo, that whatever this is, its arrival signals change within the divine cosmos.
Stars die, other stars are born. So it must be with gods. There's a change coming.
Aaron,
He's acting
go.
he's acting like he's mystical, like he knows something. He's being cryptic, like, he's just kind of hold on. But he still sucks.
Aaron,
Rhiannon, I was gonna say Rhiannon is now sitting on the floor, leaning at it, trying to see if there's anything etched in it, anything. And while she does that, though,
Make an investigation check for that, then.
Okay.
Aaron, what would you attempt to do here?
Oh.
Kind of similar to Rhiannon, going to look at it and see if she can notice anything.
Okay. Why don't you roll a perception check, since that was a good investigation roll from Rhiannon.
She's basically like on all fours, leaning forward, looking at it, still not touching it, just looking like an idiot on the floor.
But I will say that through your combined efforts, you are able to discern, through a little bit of sort of sample testing of it, perhaps taking the needle that was used previously and scraping it across the surface. This substance is incredibly durable. these cracks that have formed in it don't necessarily appear to be formed by any weapon that you have any knowledge of, and you're not even
The wall
certain.
didn't do it.
Right, and you're not even certain that natural force could have any impact to damage this substance.
It's gonna sound ridiculous, but she's a druid. Is it? Has the smell of the room changed?
Has the smell of the room changed?
She's a druid.
I'm. Go ahead and roll perception there.
Yes. Are you serious?
Yeah, it smells a little bit more ashy and smoky because Bunchy just cast spells and had a fight.
I mean, really, the only person who there was like very little spell casting that did a lot of damage because certain people who are Bernardo just destroyed it.
Be nice to me. It's my birthday.
Is that persuasion or deception?
Every day is Bernardo's birthday in his mind, so it's deception. Now he rolls it.
Headmaster Barrows will say, a detail that slipped my mind. Happy birthday, Bernardo.
He'll nod.
Rhiannon just
chuckle.
uses Druidcraft to make the single ugliest looking flower she can think of and hand it to Bernardo and go, happy birthday.
He takes it and he plucks it into his hat.
As it passes your nose, you sense its scent. It's not very good.
Yeah.
It's one of those stinky flowers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does this stone have any type of psychic resonance or residue?
After the creature is removed, I'm going to need you to make that same check again. Make Charisma Arcana again for me. We're taking the higher of those two rolls. Arcana. 20. Very good, Bernardo. You again try and almost merge your mind with this stone. You sense a shard of a shell. It's as if there is an emptiness, but not a nothingness. And that's what I'll give you.
Do I get the feeling like this was some sort of life pod or escape pod, if like to use spaceship terms? Like it carried a passenger here, like it was a vehicle or a vessel. Like
That
some
hypothesis
the elemental
could match the evidence. I would not discount it.
Yeah, the elemental road.
Nor would I
in
confirm it.
Yes.
So
X-Files.
you're saying it's a space egg.
No, I'm saying we've already killed the chicken that was in the space egg.
Doesn't end the eggness of it.
Lulu will say, it's a rock. Wait. No, it's not a rock. It's not a rock at all. It's no kind of mineral that's ever been on this plane before. I mean, is it a rock?
Try something and see if it is a rock.
The headmaster will say, do go ahead.
Let me make sure I can actually do that. Oh,
You want to meld into rock.
Oh, why not? It's funny. I find it amusing. Now it needs to be large enough to contain all of me. Hold on, do I have anything else?
It is. It is a large item, and if you sort of balled yourself up, you could be contained in it.
Okay, well, let's see if it's a stone.
You gonna cast a spell?
Yeah.
As you take your hand and attempt to shift into it, no. This thing is not a stone and will not accept you as one would.
Not a rock. Not a rock, guys. Not a rock.
The headmaster will say, I see all of this as an absolute victory. Now, take it as an ongoing research and development assignment for you all. Your first, to conceive of how this stone should be handled by us within the Mage Tower.
Master, I have a question. Been meaning to ask it since this fell through the wall.
Hmm.
What happens to those students? And I point to the broken table. Are they just going to lose everything?
Well, I suppose that the substance is like water. Perhaps if merged with water, it could be controlled by Mr. Hoban. Perhaps found its way back into its vials, but I am afraid that those memories, not that their denizens are necessarily even still within the tower, may be lost, or at the very least damaged. It is a shame, but such occurs when the will of gods is in play.
What you're saying is there are people who died never knowing that you took their memories?
Yes.
I hate this place. I just thought you should know.
Your authenticity is of value to me. Now let me show you all.
He'll lean towards Aaron and say, "Did he just refer to himself as a god?"
I believe that he did, which is kind of insane.
Let me show you to your new quarters.
Another new room?
My personal apprentices must not be with the common folk. Follow.
The sheer amount of times I have moved in this building is ridiculous.
And he will, with a flick of his hand, open this door, making direct the path ahead for you. Walking down it.
I guess we have to walk up and or down 87,000 stairs.
Your intuition serves you well, as in fact we are in a tower, and you will not be staying on this floor. You will be ascending.
Soon I'll be able to turn into a bird and not have to walk upstairs.
Bernardo turns into you.
But a very short
As he's
one,
walking.
and that's weird.
I could be taller. It's just an illusion, though.
He leads you up to the 9th floor of the tower and gestures towards the hallway to your right and then towards the opening of a hallway ahead in the same pattern as you know the layers of this tower to be laid out, and says, "There are many rooms on this floor. They are for your choosing. If you would like to share, for them to be alone. In this time, they are shaped like the ones you're familiar with, but that too may change. It is your will. In time. Go. Choose your resting spaces."
Brandon leans over to Aaron. Should we share? Should we not? I don't understand.
I don't like the idea of being alone.
That's fair.
Bernardo, do you want to open
Bernardo
those
apparently
doors?
does.
He calls out from around the corner, "All these doors are locked!"
The headmaster gives a and then flicks his finger, and you hear a click next to you, Bernardo. You can see classrooms like the ones you've seen before. It's as if this tower is shaped in almost a uniform sense in many ways.
They built one floor. Just clicked copy and paste.
Bernardo will
Do
go
not be
into
fooled.
the room.
The bed sheets are of different colors on each floor.
Oh!
He'll shut the door
Ooh.
as if to say, "This is mine," and then he will kind of center himself and will his surroundings to look like his home, his family estate.
You feel your presence, your intent. Do nothing. Nothing
Do
happens
we want?
yet, but it's as if you do sense that the message was sent and perhaps even received, but no changes occurred as of now.
I turn to the other girls. Do you guys just want to take the room next to Bernardo's?
Sure.
Lulu will nod.
He needs a bath, get all the elemental juice off of him.
Yes, that would follow, and that is clear for you now. The headmaster will then follow and to say, this endeavor must require you with time to think and converse and plan, and so I will leave you to it as such. Dinner, as I recall, dinner has not occurred. This happened beginning of the day, when last night. So he will say, dinner will wait for you when you are ready. Until such a time, be as you will be, and tomorrow your training will begin. You will meet me on this floor in the Golem Laboratory. Points toward this set of double doors. Lulu and Aaron will enter this room along with you, Rhiannon. Bernardo has his own room to himself. And you hear the footsteps of the headmaster walking down the hallways until they are out of earshot. And you are within your rooms. Now, what are you to do?
Probably made the wrong decision, but we do have an ace in the hole, and I hold up the vial.
Bernardo gets dressed, and then trying to work off of memory. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Bernardo was told that another IO stone was used as a paperweight in the headmaster's office.
Yes.
So he would like to just go up to the headmaster's office and retrieve it.
All right, you may begin such a journey. And yet, to cut to the chase, you will find yourself rather quickly halted by a set of animated armors at the stairs leading up to the 10th floor. And they will say, "What is your purpose?"
To visit the headmaster's office.
"What is your purpose?"
To visit the headmaster's office.
The armors sort of look to one another, and the other one says, "What is your purpose?"
Is this echoing through the halls?
Yeah, Bernardo's just going to say it again. I'm going to visit the headmaster's office.
I
and
feel like
speak
something
with the
stupid is
headmaster.
happening.
It's always stupid when Bernardo's
That's
involved.
okay,
His
but I feel
intelligence
like
is 8.
God, I turned to the Lulu and Aaron. I feel like something very stupid is happening right now.
One of the armors
And I mean,
shakes
I'm
its head and
kinda
then begins
down
to
to the
climb
break.
up the stairs, and the other one says, "You will wait with me."
He'll tap his foot and wait.
Do we let it
So
be
much
stupid?
for being, important.
Do we just let him be stupid?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was
That's fine.
invited to go up and take the paperweight. He doesn't see anything wrong with that.
The armor
Right.
returns and says, "Headmaster Barrows is resting his feet. He requests to know why you wish to visit his office in this time."
Go up to the headmaster, tell him that you are retrieving the stone that he is using for his paperweight, and he'll describe the Io stone. And tell him that it will be delivered to Bernardo for research.
I will take your suggestion.
It's not a suggestion.
The armor stands before you, just kind of locks eyes with you. Make a wisdom check. As you peer into its lidless, helmeted eyes, you feel pure emotion flow back into you. It's a sensation of desperation, like someone trapped in a cage too small to fit their body, but desperately banging on the door. And then it is gone.
Bernardo will say to the armor, "Do you wish to be set free?
I have duty.
Do you wish to be relieved of duty?"
My wish is my duty. My duty is my wish.
Okay. Bernardo's getting used to being back in controlling command, so he thinks like, "Oh, I got a promotion," so he's gonna go around being like acting like a noble for a little bit, like, "You do this, you do that, do what I say," kind of thing. That's how he's acting right now.
I have a chair. The other armor will return at this time. In its hand is a small object folded up in cloth, which it awkwardly holds its hand out towards you, Bernardo, with.
Bernardo will unwrap it to see what the stone is, and if it brought me a regular stone, he's just gonna smack it onto the floor.
It is the Io stone.
He will take it and tell the armor.
Did you take
"Thank
the
you
cloth?"
for-" Yes.
And it nods.
Now look at the cloth real quick. Is there anything special about it?
It's got some nice embroidery around the sides.
All right. Well, he'll go over, to this bench, take the stone out of the cloth, leave the cloth on the bench, and then go back to his room with the stone.
As you're walking away, you hear the armor call out, "The cloth is complimentary."
Thank you. Carry on.
I haven't heard any violence, so I guess it wasn't that stupid.
And Bernardo, would you like to return to your room, or would you like to converse with the others?
I'll go to their room. He'll bang on the door real quick, but he's already like a halfway through the threshold before the sound even comes out.
Oh, you're not dead.
Why would I be?
We heard a lot of dumb happening out in the hallway.
That was just the animated armors accepting their commands. They are rather slow. However, it has been my belief that they are trapped spirits, and this has been confirmed. I just spent an inordinate amount of time being dumb, as you say, and the spirit desperately wanted to escape. However, it's a subconscious thought. They are bound to their duties.
Have I mentioned in the last 5 minutes that I hate this place?
You may now process the dumb.
Okay.
And he walks past. He just kind of goes and sits on a chair.
Okay, that's fine. So what are we going to do?
I think, Bernardo, you're sitting in a wardrobe right now.
Why are you sitting in our closet?
He's on top of the wardrobe. It's closed.
Excellent.
He's just like, whatever.
Just climb on top of the wardrobe.
You know, I
Small
think
people problems.
I just point to the chair next to me like,
I
nope,
might have
okay.
lost my mind.
You know, I think he might have lost his last brain cell.
I mean,
He'll hold up the stone
that elemental thing exploded.
and show them. It took roughly 5 minutes of dumb to obtain this.
He told you to steal,
Yeah.
and you just got it.
Yeah.
What is he up to?
I'll let you figure that one out, since you like to be condescending, and Bernardo will get up and
Sometimes I am.
walk back to his room.
You
Damn
fall
door, I
off the
can't get
top
past
of the
door.
wardrobe. You're trapped.
Can't get out of the door.
Nope. Seriously, though, what are we gonna do, guys?
And then he's gonna go to sleep.
You gonna take a nap?
Bernardo wants a nap.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long morning.
All right, so
I figure isn't it like right before dinner time right now?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He'll sleep until they're ready for dinner.
So then, until that
We'll just
time,
leave- when we go to dinner, we just walk by banging on the door as we walk away.
why don't I leave it to you all to discuss what your next steps are, what you think of the developments here, in or out of character as you wish.
So, right. We just gave our blood to a guy who just handed over us very, what seems to be powerful magic thing to that one. I mean, I know nothing here is what it seems, but are we all just stuck here? Even him?
No, we're not stuck. We weren't stuck. I figured like we could have jumped out the window.
Hurt a lot, A, and B, it's really cold outside.
I thought you could fly.
No! Eventually I will be able to fly.
I have the flies. Well, I could have had the fly spell if I intended to jump out the window.
No, it wasn't. No, I can wild shape at some point into flying, but not yet.
So, I suggest now that we explore the basements of the tower that we have not gone through yet. Things that we haven't seen for an age. These characters never saw, but the previous ones did. Maybe there's some sort of arcane, archaic, or some other word that starts with an A down there that might be useful or help explain what's going on. I personally don't think he is who he says he is. I think he's someone else, a figure of legend perhaps, but something.
No, but I mean, I don't. I think all of the magic users are stuck here. Like,
they're not stuck here.
not
He's
stuck
keeping
per
them
se,
here.
but
He's fueling his power with their memories somehow.
just leave them in bottles. I mean, they're memories of dead people.
What was the scene where he was extracting our memories?
You got flashes
It
of
was
that.
him.
Yeah,
It wasn't just him though. It was him.
and the some of the other teachers.
Some of the other teachers. Yeah, I think So it's not just him, and that's what I'm wondering if.
Alright, why was he not concerned when the whole section was destroyed? He didn't care.
Well, I mean, like you said, he's really, 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 really old. I'm just wondering if he's gotten to that point where he stopped caring. Because also, again, like you said, if he's fueling his magic with it, why didn't he get upset that an entire table was destroyed?
Because he knows he could always just get more, and no one's going to try to stop him now that we've joined him. Plus, he would never show it to us that he would be upset, because that would be showing his weakness.
Right. But sometimes people don't have complete control over.
I don't have much insight, but I didn't get anything. Did you?
No. I still think joining up with him was probably our best bet, because once again, could we have survived out in the cold until we found a place to not be with other people?
You saw what my blade did to that rock thing. My question for you is, why didn't we just kill him when we had the chance?
because blood magic fueled mage armor.
Okay.
Do we even know your
Do
blade
you
would
think
have
that
worked?
that is...
Did you not see what magic missile did when he did that?
Those types of powerful magics have a simple counter. Even the most basic initiate can stop that display of power with a simple protection cantrip, shield, first level spell, whatever you want
Can
to call it.
stop that. I'm not saying magic missile in particular. What I'm saying is how much more intense magic missile got because of blood. What did that do to mage armor?
I understand what you're saying. I do believe that the force of the three of us would have been sufficient. Of the four of us, actually, with Lulubelle there. She is not worthless. I think also she is not who she seems as well.
She doesn't know because she doesn't want her memories, which is perfectly fine. I'm not going to force her.
It's more than that. Her musing suggests that she has an inordinate amount of power locked up within her memories.
I mean, I know he's still lying about how much of our memories we lost, because I had a memory in some kind of mine that I just hung out in a mine for a day and left? Doesn't make any sense.
As one does.
As you do. Yeah, you just go hang out in a mine and then leave.
Personally,
sense.
I would like to hear from Erin. She's been extremely and unnervingly quiet the entire time.
I just keep thinking, I'm not sure we made the right decision, but I don't see what other option we had.
I agree with you. We did not make the right decision.
But I don't know if the right decision would have had a better outcome for us. I don't think it would have.
Depends on what your view of the afterlife is, I suppose. But the past is done. What should we do moving forward? I propose that we try to discover more history, more knowledge, and then
once
at
again,
some
we have an
late...
ace in the hole, and I pulled up the bottle.
Yes, that. And what do you think Solovey will do when she has her memories back?
Doesn't really matter what she'll do. It'll just be chaos.
Well, your ace in the hole will evaporate very quickly if she makes a rash decision.
We give it to her in public. It will prove everybody in wherever we hand it to her, their memories are upstairs.
And what will that accomplish?
I don't know.
I'm simply trying to figure out what the goal here is.
Heck, he's up to. Like he needs something. I don't know what, but something. And we have it somehow. I don't really know what that is. But... And...
Should we ask him? Be direct. What do you need from us? Why do you wish us to be your apprentices when there certainly could have been others more powerful than us?
It's obvious he knows something, because he said that we have something or other. So maybe. I mean,
We're
apparently
special.
you were direct-ish and just got handed a stone that's really powerful. So maybe?
I don't know.
I mean, maybe
Perhaps let's go have some dinner and think about it.
I like dinner. Dinner does sound like a good idea. It's been a very long day and I'm kind of hungry.
You're not yourself when you're hungry.
It's true. I'm not.
Eat a
Sometimes
conjured bread roll.
Sometimes I'm so not myself, I turn into a bear. Oh wait, no, I can just do that on a whim.
All right. Let us then visit the dinner hall and then send you all to rest afterwards. And once you head to rest, we will take our break. Lulu is going to say, "Can you bring me something up? I'm very uneasy, and I would rather stay here for now."
Yeah, why don't you lay down?
Okay, I'm gonna go
Get
do
some
that.
rest. Just
And she just kind of fiddles around with the dragon chess pieces on the board, moving them around. And then at one point, she just kind of flicks her wrist and tosses one of them onto the floor and goes, "Oh, oops." Tries down to pick it up.
use Druid Craft to make some lavender. This will help.
Excellent. In that case, let us send you to the hall here. Oh. Here we go.
Do we pretend like we don't know anything?
We're not meant. Do you remember? We're not meant to be around the peasants, so to speak.
Everyone's a peasant. You think we're peasants?
Yeah.
I kind of am, but that's not
You're
the
less
point.
peasant than the other peasants. Is that fair?
Kind of. I'm hungry. All right. I'm gonna do a scan of the room to see if Alvina's down here. I'm not seeing her.
He's not.
Great. Okay. Cool.
Right?
How much food do you think I can fit in my bag?
All of it.
I mean, probably.
6 bulk worth.
A lot of food.
You sit down alongside a first level wizard that just gives a, "Oh, hello."
Hi.
Bernardo,
That's
where
not
have you
my bad.
headed?
Where did I go? I got confused. I'm sorry. That was
Right here with the teacher's table.
Where?
Ah!
No. Yeah, no. Rihanna just stands up. Can I just have a box with some food in it?
All right, fine. Sullivan is to the north.
One of the servants will approach and say, "Yeah, I can get that for you. Give me a moment." Now,
Can you make that too? I need to get one for somebody else.
Sure.
Did you run
As you approach this long table on the north side of the room, you can hear raucous sounds of excitement as Salave is clearly at the center of some kind of a minor celebration. There is alcohol present, which is not usually present in this hall, and people are drinking and excited.
Wait, they busted out the booze? What happened when we were gone?
And Bernardo, as you'd sat down at the teacher's table, they'd said, "Oh, we'd missed you at the Sphere Games. I hope you will. Oh, goodbye." That being particularly Professor Alistair.
Okay.
On a box.
And so, what are you going to do as you approach this table?
Well, Bernardo's going to let the ladies do the talking. However, he's going to insert himself into the circle, grab someone's beer, and drink it.
I wasn't planning on doing anything with that vial anytime soon.
Okay, you do the talking. He's going to steal the alcohol and drink.
As
Yeah,
you
so-
grab for the drink, the man who was holding it claps you in the back and says, "Hey, hey, hey," and then grabs a different drink from somewhere else, which he'll drink. And then the man he stole reaches for someone else's drink, and so on and so
Yeah,
forth,
Rihanna
until
just sits
a woman
down
at the
and
end of the line goes, "Where'd my drink go?"
Perfect.
So what did I miss?
And this apprentice next to you,
Just saying random.
will say, "Oh, Salave won the Omnisphere matches tonight. She's going to be promoted tomorrow."
Promoted to what?
What level was she at for? She was the 4th, I believe. She'll be 5th now, yeah. And goes back to
Wait,
drinking.
so just Salave though? Isn't it a team thing? Or is a team thing
I
Like,
guess her excellence
yesterday.
has been proven in an individualistic way. I don't know. We're gonna get booze. Ah!
I mean, booze.
And as your voice can be heard, you see someone lean slightly forward from the line of chairs and say, "Hey there, pretty. Good to see you again. Here, want to share a seat with me? I got some extra here."
No! Just no!
Oh, he's
Aaron is
he,
gonna send the tiniest little flame out of her finger just to flick him on the nose with it.
he was women these days. Ah!
Has he always been that stupid, or is this something that, like, developed over time?
You just call every man stupid. Bernardo's calling you out. You just think every man is stupid.
Okay, Bernardo, please tell me you have not done stupid things. And this one, I mean,
Oh, he's stupid, but I've kept you alive.
I'm surprised he survived this long.
I mean, yes. But, like, is this, like, something that happens from long-term drug use? Because, I mean, maybe.
Yes, that happens. Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I guess
It rots your brain.
And he seems to be a fiend for that stuff, so.
You even
Yes.
can catch as he kind of looks left and right and then gives a
Oh
something.
my god.
Little toot.
Yep. Salave has noticed your presence, and she'll lean forward and say, "Well, look, it's the no-shows. Appreciated the buy you earned me in the tournament. You're all a key part to my success. And where were you tonight?"
So, a forfeiture?
We were excused
Anyone?
from participating.
Oh. Good for me.
So, interesting. Interesting definition of excellence.
Yeah,
Come
I don't
talk
think
with
that's
us.
much of a win to be bragging about, honestly.
She says, "Talk with you? What would I have to talk with you about tonight that you wouldn't be willing to say in front of everyone?"
Everything.
That is
Do
true.
it.
Breakfast
He's actually
tomorrow
gonna do
morning.
Friends.
Ooh. Let's see it. Charisma, persuasion, or deception, whichever is appropriate, at advantage.
Advantage, you say?
I do.
Holy crap.
Just say, fine. This drink is mine, with hostility to those around her. And then comes over and sits right next to you, Bernardo. Says, "And what can I do for you three today?"
Bernardo will give the ladies the floor.
We just found something you lost. We all lost, actually.
And I know that you will want it very, very much.
I don't lose things. You're trying to bribe me.
So,
I
what
am
do you
bribing
remember?
you. And you did lose it.
So, what do you remember before you came here?
Says, "Why does that matter?" Make an intimidation roll, Aaron. Oof.
Would you like to know what happened before you came here?
How would you know anything about me?
I just pulled it out of my pocket. I don't know anything.
What is that, a healing potion?
No, it's your memories. Oh, yeah, by the way, I actually have mine. Saw them take them from us. You want it?
You can tell that she's a little bit stunned. Sure, give it here. Give it here.
You have to drink it. I don't really know what'll happen if somebody who's not there drinks it.
My stomach's a little full. I'll drink it later.
I don't think so. If you want to know.
Well,
You wanna
I'm
know.
not in the mood to drink any strange potions right now, so.
Not really a potion, like I said. I saw exactly what landed me here.
Make a
This was mine, and
persuasion
that's
check,
your-
Rhiannon. You are attempting to persuade her. This is certainly the way that this roll must go.
Not horrific. Yes, I am.
Her eyes sort of focus a bit. She says, "All right, what's it worth to you?"
I mean, for me, I'm just gonna hold on to it. Could peruse it later.
Bernardo's been quiet this whole time listening to this exchange, and he says, cattiness aside, those are your memories. The three of us were doing some investigation while you were playing games and getting your promotion. And what we found is life-changing for anyone who knows about it. If you choose not to take your memories, that's your choice, but know that you'll be content with this life here as a slave for the rest of your life. That's all you'll be. But if you take your memories back and you take your personality back, and he chuckles and he kind of gives an aside, definitely an improvement that. And then perhaps we can have an actual discussion. But until you get over this false bravado that you insist upon displaying to everyone, this goes nowhere.
Make a persuasion check.
It's your choice.
Peace, for sure.
Do I still have advantage or no?
Yes. She'll say, "Still don't entirely trust you all. I'm not willing to, even if you're not lying, drink that here. But I am elsewhere. You three like to stick together, don't you?
For the most part, seems to help.
I'll come find you and we'll have a potion drinking party. I'll bring some crystal dust, I'll bring some fun potions that have fun effects, and we'll all just have a good time. How's that sound?"
Does she have access to our floor?
Oh,
What floor are we on?
9.
I'm sorry, you won't be allowed on the 9th floor where we're currently staying.
Yeah.
You've been waiting to pull rank on her forever, haven't you?
A little bit.
She'll say, "Well, this party is going to extend later and I need to rest on it. Library tomorrow night after dinner? Or maybe if I find you sooner."
Acceptable.
Okay.
Now, point of order, is she taking her memory potion with her?
Oh no, I put it back in my pocket when she said she didn't want it.
Okay, I just want that clarified.
Oh
Absolutely.
no. That's not leaving my hands until I know she's gonna drink it.
So she then stands up and says, "All right, well, I'm going to get back to my festivities. You three have a wonderfully splendid evening for all it's worth for you." Yeah. She goes back to sitting down, taking a deep swig of the alcohol. And you can even see in her eyes for a moment just a 1,000-yard stare before she gets distracted by something one of her friends said and pulled back into the revelry.
You think if I tell her about how gross the mines are, she'll give up on the dust thing? I mean, their mines are really gross.
Well,
Just saying.
I don't know that I actually care.
I mean, I'm just. Maybe I'm trying to stop everybody from being high as kites all the time around here, so that they'll actually pay attention.
I get it. You want the best for everyone. I understand.
It's what I do.
Is there anything else?
That's why. Go ahead.
I was going to say, is there anything else here to do?
No.
Sure. you're saying. Okay.
I'm gonna go back and attune to my stone.
Then head back.
I'm gonna grab mine and grab the boxes to give food to Lulu. Check on her, make sure
Perfect.
she's okay.
The servants will meet you on your way out with boxes of food for all. And as you are leaving, Bernardo, you're getting up from the table, and Lewis will say, "Hey, little guy, you want some of the good stuff? It's a party!"
He'll just give him the most blistering stare he possibly could and just walk away.
Turn to
He's thinking in his
How?
head, "Call me little guy one more time, and I will murder you."
Yeah, Anna just turns to Aaron. How does he function? I
I
don't get
literally
it.
have no idea how somebody hasn't put him in the ground by now.
Perfect.
I know there are spells to bring people back. I'm just wondering if maybe you've done that a lot to him.
So as
What?
Bernardo is
Oh.
walking back with them, he just kind of assumes Lewis's shape, like Lewis's form, just to mess with the girls.
Excellent.
You never thought Lewis would be in your room tonight, huh?
Exactly.
As
Oh,
soon
you
as you
really
open
are.
your
I will punch you.
as soon as you open your mouth, though, we know it's not him.
Make a performance check, Bernardo.
There's at least 10 more brain cells there. Probably hundreds more.
Actually, he does a pretty good impression.
He does, but I know it was him, so I can punch him in the face if I really wanted to. Because I know where his face is.
Are
She
you all?
punches Lois in the gut, hits me in the face.
If I punch you in the face, not a whole lot's gonna happen. I have noodle arms, but I could try.
Are you all then to rest?
Yeah.
All right.
Does my room look different?
Not yet. But maybe next time.
He's muttering about the slow service around here.
All right. So, in that case, we are going to take. Let's take 10 minutes for a break, and then I will see you all
Go get my mail.
shortly.
All right. Back in 10.
And we are back, everyone.
Yes.
Let us continue. So, you all now lie in your beds. You have concluded this day of uncertainty, this day within which you made decisions to affect your future. You accepted a deal with Headmaster Barrows of the Mage Tower to become apprentices of his, to learn from him blood magic, and perhaps to help forward his personal goals, which he described as the freedom of all mages, and perhaps even damage upon the society that is the Vergent Empire. As you now go to rest, you feel as though your minds are shifting, almost acclimating to knowledge, which had created a void in memory. That knowledge is now reclaiming that void. Perhaps moving things that were placed within there in the interim just to the side. Definitely don't rest well, though it is a productive night's sleep. And it is in this night's sleep, through hearing eye of a dream, that you will see what you have lost. We move into the memories of Aaron first. As you find yourself within a market street, nay, not within the street itself, but on the roofs above it, with your friend, staring down upon busyness of Vergent City, capital of the Vergent Empire, where you live within the streets. You and your good friend, Martha, have marked a cart which has entered the city from the north, filled with, well, why don't you be a little creative and help me out here? What is it that Erin and her streets friend would be interested in stealing?
Most likely either food or jewels, something that they could either use or sell.
Jewels it is then. So, you are aware that a jeweler's emporium is sending a shipment from north of the city that is passing through this market, and a cart which will be arriving from the north very soon. And so Martha will whisper to you, Aaron, say, all right, we go with our usual strategy. You just walk in front of the driver, act like you're blind.
Yep, sounds good. It's worked every time so far.
All right, I'll be on the back of the cart. I'll get what we need. So, slipping down from the roof, you can see now the approach of your mark, driven by a dwarf, it seems, with a bristling beard and a red cap. His cart makes its way into the city streets. Martha tucks herself away behind a cart, a market stall, that is, that the vendor is presently servicing. Now, Aaron, how are you going to go about causing this distraction? Not hearing you if you're speaking.
She's going to wander out in the street, kind of stumbling in a little bit with her arms out and just her head looking all around, not in the direction of the oncoming cart.
Alrighty, then go ahead and do so as it rolls down the road. Moving in this direction, you can hear the driver say, "Whoa, wait, watch where you're going! Oh!" And he pulls back on the horse that bucks its legs up and then sets them down just in front of you. Martha, at this time, slips around towards the back of the cart. The driver shouts towards you, Aaron, and says, "Watch where you're going! What did you think was gonna happen?"
Watch where I'm going as she's sort of looking in his direction, but not meeting his eyes intentionally. Sir, I can't see.
Make a performance and a deception roll for me. Uh-oh. Whoa! You speak with such certainty that the cart driver goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, miss. It's really, I tend to try and be a good citizen and help out the poor and the afflicted. I'm sorry, is there anything I can give you to make up for this incident?" As you can see out of the corner of your eye, Martha is just opening crates, yoink, taking all the jewels and filling up a pouch.
No, sir. You're fine.
Oh, all right then. Well, right on your way. I'll not disturb you.
Thank you so much.
As you start to make your way away, and Martha gives you the okay signal, slipping off of the cart, your eyes glance across the rooftops and see a figure upon one of them. Figure with the reflection of vergent crystals upon their wear. Figure looking directly towards you. Make a history check to identify this individual. You don't recognize the make of their outfit, though I would say that it seems clear that they are vergent of some kind. As you start walking away from the cart, this individual points in your direction and in Martha's direction. And you can then hear footsteps. Officers, guards, however you wish to know them as, start jogging in your direction. Another set begins jogging towards Martha. What are you going to do?
Going to warn Martha with the message cantrip and make an attempt to run.
Excellent. So, you flee this scene. Officers in pursuit, making your way into alleyways, where here you find yourself. Continue as you may. Path leading this way, away from the street.
Oh.
You can hear the sound of footsteps behind you as you continue to this intersection. The guards, they're closing in. But then you can hear the footsteps coming from ahead as well. They seem to be moving to cut you off.
Well, I'm going to use this ladder right here.
And as you attempt to climb over it, you are met by the glare of an armored officer that says, "Going somewhere?" Top of the ladder.
No, I was just looking for a friendlier one of you guys.
It's funny. Thief! Our inquisitors detected the presence of some thieving mages in this area. You wouldn't happen to be one of them, would you?
No.
Make a deception check, as you are in fact a thief, and you do in fact use magic. Well, that is fitting. And so as you look around you, expectant that you will be now captured by these officers, this one unfurling a set of handcuffs, you hear a fresh voice come from the top of one of these buildings as a woman in bright purple and red clothing with long gray hair looks down towards you and says, "Hold on just a second there, dearie. What do you think you're doing to this little one?" And the officer says, "Arresting her on suspicion of theft and being a mage?" She says, Now. And as she steps off of this roof, she floats down towards the street and stands behind you, Aaron, putting her hands on your shoulders and says, "Call this one under my protection." The guards around are all in a bit of shock as she just, like a leaf, floated down 15, 20 feet from a roof. And then this man says, No, you're a mage. You're in league. Both of you, put your hands in the air and throw down your magical artifacts. And the older woman says, "Oh dear." To you, Aaron. They really just don't learn now, do they?
No, they don't.
Been waiting a long time to find you. How are you doing, little one? You don't recognize this woman.
I'm doing okay now, I guess.
She'll say, Well, shall we speak perhaps away from these intruders?
Yeah.
Excellent. And she goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, counting on her fingers. As you observe, you can see details about her that you hadn't immediately noticed. There is almost a black rash of a sort crawling up onto her neck and covering one of her hands entirely and the other one partially. It looks almost like a growth, mangled in its nature. But as she counts on her fingers, you can see little flicks of fire. And then, within an instant, those men around you begin to burst into flame, squirming and dying. And as
you
the
have
last
got
one
to teach me that.
falls to the ground, she says, "I will. Been looking for you for a long time. Got a great purpose ahead of you, Aaron Sunsong. I can't wait to lead you to it. Are you ready to go?" She offers her hand.
Yeah.
But before you can take it, there is a pink, 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 as a metallic object crashes into the space, spewing smoke all about you. You can no longer see your surroundings, other than perhaps a glint of bronze and gold scales which flash before your eyes, and a roar that erupts, deafening you. But it all was a distraction, as you feel, within this blinding smoke, arms wrap themselves around you, begin to pull you as manacles are clapped around your wrists, and you can see the now familiar shape of that Virgin Inquisitor who had spied you from the rooftop, now dragging you away from this situation and into your new captivity. Your memories will continue when you wake upon the cart with the 3 others. Now, Rhiannon, you're going next, I take it?
Oh, yep.
All right. In that case, your mind goes to a time before. A time simpler, happier. A time when the most exciting thing that happened in your day was when you visited one of the villages outside of your home in the Forthane Forest to resupply, and ran into a young soul who was excited about the art of druidism. And there, you meet the young boy who cheers as you grow a flower from the ground. What do you say to him?
See. Now, and if you look at it, it's not fake. It's the real thing. you pull up those plants when they're there, deep underground. You just gotta pull them up.
Wow, can I try? He says.
Sure.
And he reaches a hand down to a tuft of grass and pulls it out of the ground. Like this?
Close. You'll get there.
Oh, okay.
It took me a long time to be able to do that.
All right.
I am over 100 years old. It took me a long time.
Thanks, miss. And he jogs off with pulling the flower up that you'd grown for him, and with the flower in one hand and the tuft of grass in the other.
You know what? He tried.
A man from your village home in the forest approaches you. He is a ranger. You know him as Morakir. Who is he to you? Friend? Brother? Lover? Hopefully not multiple of those.
No. One definitely not lover. He's a little too much of a dude. But also no, a friend. But like a brother.
Excellent.
Known each other forever.
Morakir will say, "Well, Rhiannon, growing the next generation of druids. You know the virgins wouldn't be happy about that."
They're not happy about anything.
I've received a communication from a chief of miners up at the Virgin Mine, all on the other side of the forest. They're requesting some kind of nomadic, druidic middling. I'm not exactly sure. They just expressed that they wanted an elf with powers of the wild to help them resolve.
The Virgin
situation.
Empire is asking for the help of somebody with magic?
No. Not the Empire. The miners that work for them.
Okay, so be careful.
Yes.
Not get caught.
Yes. You,
But I can't
able to do this?
leave
Willing?
them. Yes, I'm not going to leave anybody who can potentially be hurt.
I'll be happy to hear that.
Why they keep mining, but of course.
Shall we back and to through the forest go?
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
I think I've got everything.
In
If
that
we don't, I'll be
case,
back in a couple days.
You will return to your home in the Forthane Forest, make the several-day journey through it, up into departing it, where you and your friend will part ways as you travel north to the Vergent Crystal Mine, watched over by the elves in their domain, but controlled by the Vergent Empire.
Eye on things while I'm gone.
As always, he'll say.
Thank you.
And so, you will arrive at an area at the foot of the Dragonspine Mountains, where the earth has been carved away into a number of tunneled shafts. You can follow mine tracks that lead down one of these shafts into a mine where you hear noise emanating from. And here you arrive.
Yep, just kind of making my way down. Was told some help was needed?
You speak that out loud or directly to someone in this space. As you can see here, several Vergent soldiers which are keeping watch over their employees, as it were.
Yeah, so I would probably... Would I know any of these people?
Roll a d20.
Okay.
Let the fate decide. Yeah, you are familiar with Rastin Morbrook. This man, who is the head of the miners in this cave. You have met with him before, likely to resolve a different sort of issue. Perhaps there was an overgrowth of natural flowering plants near the edge of the mine, and he sought you to attempt to remove them in a friendly manner. This man does seem to have a general care for things to be kept well. And as you approach him...
Give him a tap on the shoulder.
I
was told help was needed.
Hello, my dear. Say, there's something we found. I couldn't think of who else to turn to, but it poses serious questions that I don't feel well equipped to answer on my own. Would you follow?
I just kind of... Of course, I just look back. Do your, minders know?
My miners, no.
No, minders.
My minders, not so much. And that's why I wanted to bring you in before we proceed.
Mhm.
Leading way towards one of the mine shafts. As you continue, you will say, I've told the Virgin representatives that we've hit a collapse and we'll need to dig things out. I've also artificially orchestrated the appearance of such a thing. Hopefully this won't antagonize them further than we already have been. We've been unionizing in a sense, attempting to get better pay for our work, break our backs. We send our earnings to our families in the colonies. Yet, the costs, buying rations, rise, and our wages stay the same.
Oh, speaking of which, and I would have had a little bit of food on me. Here you go.
Very
You know,
kind, I'll say.
Of course.
Follow
I
me.
know how it is down here.
He'll lead you past the area where there's a bunch of cragged rocks seemingly obscuring the way before one of them, not so heavy as it seems, can be lifted away to show a passage which leads you to here, where you can see the green glow of Virgin crystals ahead. This is the front of the mine, where the harvesting itself takes place. You can see areas where they've just begun to dig in to this new vein, it perhaps seems. And he will lead you ahead in this direction, towards a very large virgin crystal.
Oh boy.
He'll say, I want you to approach it. Place your hand on its side, and then look within.
I do as says.
Make a perception check for me. And then roll another check, raw wisdom, alongside it. As you place your hand on the edge of the crystal, you sense almost a subtle vibration to it, but you're not sure if it's the movement of the earth beneath you or anything else. Looking in, however, and thus I'm not rolling a check for the visual acuity here, as that's something you've been told to. You peer into the depths of this crystalline structure, green, glowing, beautiful, growing out almost like a plant in the way that this crystal is formed. Looking into that beautiful, shimmering theater of reflections, you see movement. You see a darkness like a shape. And you keep watching it for moments, minutes even, to attempt to discern what you're looking at exactly. It takes that time, but you're able to pick out a form. It is small, perhaps the size, I should say, of a small dog. But its shape has wings sprouted from its back, a long, almost reptilian tail as it slowly sort of shifts around within the crystal. Looks, well, roll me a history check. Or a nature check, or both.
Nature, because I'm good at that. No, I'm not.
Well, history alongside it as well. It's good enough to say that this form does not appear to be that of any natural beast, nor monstrous. And Rastin says, You see it?
Yeah, there's a creature of some sort in there.
Do you know the legends of the virgin dragons that once protected these mines?
I would assume I know them.
You've heard of the stories that there were once dragons that existed in these parts, but you don't know much of the details. Rastin will say, what we've been told is that the Scourge of Dragons was wiped out long ago. They kept the power of the Virgin Crystals from our first Emperor.
Oh, so not actually a scourge. Surprising.
Does that shape not look like a dragon to you?
It doesn't look like anything I've seen before. Not beast. Not monster. I don't know what it is, but it could be.
One of my miners noticed this while he was waiting for mining this crystal out. We've mined many crystals like it. We're about to mine this one. But then I saw it as he did, and it didn't quite seem right to blindly remove life like this. So I sought you as a druid for your insights on the matter.
I'm... I need to see something really fast.
Please.
Here we go. So I actually know Sylvan, which may not help, but I am just gonna just see if it reacts to somebody speaking directly to it, and I'm gonna try Sylvan first.
Okay.
And just say, "Hello, is anybody in there?"
You notice
react to a voice?
an immediate reaction from the creature. It sort of shimmers around and then moves a bit closer to you. You can start to make out the details of this creature. It certainly appears to be a youth of a sort. Small, young, with a undeveloped, but an appearance that is a bit akin to what you see here.
Oh boy. I think the legends may be a little bit true. Okay, little guy. Can you get out of there? And I'm just gonna kind of put my hand so it's like, come, like doing the universal motion for come here.
And the creature shifts and then recoils. Returns back into the center of this crystal.
Is there any way? Because would I have access to my higher level spells?
No.
That's what I figured. No, that's what I figured.
You
so that's
are,
fine.
as we rolled in our pre-session, level 3.
Okay.
Rastin will say, do you have any last ideas? I don't want to leave the front for too long. We're supposed to be on break.
I don't know. I mean, there's definitely something in there.
Should we tell
honestly,
our Virgin Minders about this?
No. Not in the least. They want to kill it. And I'm wondering if this is like
Nods.
some kind of vessel or something that if you guys start breaking it, it might be able to get out.
Indeed.
Which I would expect you guys to run like the Dickens and maybe at least to be safe.
So,
but I can't get it out.
Your wisdom is righteous. Let's return.
Of course.
As you make your way back to the main cavern, you hear chatter, talking, and you see that others have arrived here. One of the miners will say, "Boss, they're here to negotiate." But they didn't say it in the nice way. He says, "Alright, I'll handle this. Come on, Rhiannon, I might need your pull to get out of this mess."
I'll do what I can.
Ahead of you, you see a finely decorated Virgin Inquisitor. You may have seen this man around the area before. He is Inquisitor Marius, the head Inquisitor for the areas surrounding the Forthane Forest. He is not a nice man. Rastin approaches him and says, "Ah, Marius, finally! I've been looking forward to this conversation." Marius will shake his head saying, "Oh no, I don't think you have. You've been stepping on the wrong toes, Rastin." Says, "Why? What have I done wrong?" He says, "Don't think that your little movement of protest was savvy enough to slip past the eyes of your betters. We know that you've stopped mining, and we know that it's in line with your attempts to change the equation. Unionization, have you called it? Which cannot stand. And now you've stopped working. No. Consequences must come for this. In fact, dire ones. Immediately, your pay is going to be cut in half." Rastin says, "Half? But we'll barely be able to pay for ourselves, much less our families with that." He says, "Oh, that'll be enough then? How about for the next year? Cut the pay in a quarter. You'll have to have the family send back some money for you now. That's what happens when you start messing around." Rastin places a hand on a pickaxe that's leaned up against the virgin crystal cart next to him and says, "I'm not okay with that." And the miners behind him start to shift and make a line as well. It says, "We're not okay with that. And we're not going to mine anymore until you give us better pay than what we had before." The Inquisitor, with disdain in his eyes, turns towards you, Rhiannon, and says, "Hello there, elf. Would you like to leave this squabble to us humies? Or would you like to leave? Oh wait, that's the same option. Get out."
You're right. I should leave. I'm gonna walk here. And I'm just gonna reach out and go and cast Thunderclap.
Okay. And that's into action. And that begins a fight. A fight between you, the Virgin Soldiers, the Virgin Inquisitors, and the miners. But as this has occurred in the past,
Guys, run! Oh yeah, she's gonna try and get them to get the miners.
We're not going to meet out this fight.
That's fine. No,
I'm just going to tell you how it ends, which is with a number of the miners in chains, a number of them dead. You and Rastin are both chained. And you overhear Marius saying, "Send this druid to the Mage Tower for her insolence. She might have a license somewhere in that forest. She doesn't have it here, and she just attacked us. As for the rest of them, dump them in the Badlands. Leave them to the sandworms." We'll
I'm
plant
so
you,
sorry.
as well as Aaron, in that cart, that faithful cart. Now, Bernardo, we go to you. Tell the past of the last of our three. You, however, find yourself in a far more jolly environment. 3 drinks in to a tab you haven't paid since last week. Ready to earn back the money to pay it all off. And double. This time, you'll be fortunate, certainly, as you've got a winning hand. I mean, there's a couple hands that beat it, but it's a winning hand, you're sure, in this game of cards. You're sat around with several other bar goers to the Gentle Plenty, a favorite inn of yours in Virgin City. And you're across from your gambling nemesis. He always seems to come out ahead, just in the smallest sense. That's Rico. You don't like Rico very much. Rico doesn't like you very much. But you enjoy trading money. Well, at least that's the way you try and justify it. He likes to take your money. And as you have this finally victorious hand just on the precipice of revealing itself, what are you going to say to Rico?
Oh, Rico, we've had a long history, but business is business, friend. I'll be gladly taking everything you have.
He says, everything I have, is that right? How about we go all in on this one? Everything you have, and most of what I have. Because they're the same size.
Everything for everything. What's the matter? You afraid of losing?
Oh no. Are you?
I'm the one proposing everything. Ah, and when I'm done, I'll even take your wife. For a minute.
Ha ha ha! We divorced years ago. You don't know what you're talking about. He throws his hand down on the table, and you see it. It can't be. It's your hand. One cut off, but not in a way that matters. Just in a suit. It's otherwise. Those 2 cards he held in your hand, it's. There's another card in the deck. There's an extra card in the deck. And either you or he is holding it. And for once, you know, you didn't cheat. You have your hand still as if yet revealed. What are you going to do? He does beat you.
I'm gonna lay down my hand and call him a dirty cheat. How dare he? The House of Shag will not be disrespected. And he will challenge him to a duel.
He says, a duel? You're gonna challenge me to a duel? With what weapon? You don't have a rapier at this time.
Scrambling around looking, he'll say, a duel of wits!
I think I'll take a duel of fists, as he stands up and walks over towards you and attempts to pick you up.
So I'm gonna scramble away from him, and all the while I'm trying to scramble the pot into my coin purse.
All right.
That was on the table, and avoid Rico and run out as fast as I can.
Okay. You're doing multiple things at the same time, though, as your greed does entail. Roll your athletics or acrobatics check to escape the grapple at disadvantage, and then make a sleight of hand check. That's enough.
Is the sleight of hand at disadvantage?
No. You scrape a couple of coins of gold into your pocket, but it's maybe a fifth of what you had before. And dash away from him. You escape his grasp as he tries to grab you. As you're now making your way in whichever direction you see fit. Tazan Deepmug, the owner of the tavern, says, "Hey, Bernie, you gonna pay that tab we got or not?"
Running quickly, he'll toss maybe a couple coins from what he just stole. He'll throw them towards the barkeep and keep running, looking for an exit.
You toss the coins, and Tazan catches one of them and then tries to scramble to pick the rest of them up and says, "That'll hold you off for a little while." In what direction are you running? Where are you going?
He's just trying to lose Rico, and I guess he's going to run down the hall to the east, and he's going to go to some back alley hiding spot that he has. But it's just really a bunch of crates on the, in the street somewhere.
All right. So you run, escaping the tavern and the grips of the angered Rico. No one calls Rico a cheater. You make your way, turning that corner hard and fast. You're zooming away towards a hiding spot, rushing through the alleyway. You hear the squawk of mud beneath your shoes as you dash. But then, as you're running, you trip as something catches your face. A cobweb, how did that get there? And you tumble face first, splat, into the mud. You know that Rico must be just behind you. What are you going to do? But then, that is when you see it. The butt of its hilt poking out of the mud before you. There's almost a silver-purple shimmer to the reflection of its beautiful metal. The hilt of a rapier. What are you going to do?
Scrambling up, he grabs the hilt. It doesn't even think twice. He just holds on and keeps running, knowing that Rico's right behind him.
And so you do, running to escape. You'll lose Rico eventually and find your way to the streets of the lower districts here, where the disenfranchised go to live amongst the streets. Having firmly lost him at this point, you're sure. Are you going to go to rest? What are you going to do with this new item you've pulled from the dirt?
First, he's going to try to get most of the mud off as much as he can. Make himself presentable again. It hurts him in a very egocentric way to look as disheveled as he is. And he will then, duck into a side alley where no one's looking and start to look at his new acquisition and see if it's worth anything.
All right. Well, that would be appraisal. Make an investigation check, please, for me as you make your way into an alley, perhaps here. Investigating this item, it is beautiful. It is of near perfect value. It's shining. It's maybe even nicer than Great Grandpa Shag's best rug. Value perspective. You have this feeling that this is the most valuable thing you've ever had in your hands. What are you going to do with it?
Examining the style and make of the blade, he kind of tests it out a few times in his hand, like, haha, thinking of himself as some sort of noble rake or Robin Hood type figure who just goes around robbing everyone, except for he has no interest in uplifting the common folk. It's a roundabout way of saying I'm a bandit.
Bernardo the Bandit.
As he has those thoughts, he then turns back towards the street, thinking, I can be somebody now.
And yet somebody will always find their way back to their old haunts. And so, after returning to your home, getting a great night's rest, you then come upon a soon next evening back to the Gentle Plenty, as after all, you do need to get a drink this night. And so to come here, this sword strapped finely at your side,
Yes.
you enter the bar. Tazan says, "Oh, hey there, Bernie. The usual?"
The usual, yes. I've come to make my fortune once again.
I'm sure Rico will be here soon. Find yourself a seat where you make it, wherever you're comfortable.
Rico is most likely going to be making a mess upon your furniture presently, and just want you to know, it's through no fault of my own.
Look, whenever you all finish your gambling, if you want to resolve things outside like boys, you can do it. Just don't do it inside, unless you're playing fair games.
That's all I do is play games.
So where will Bernardo have a seat in the tavern?
The same spot that Rico and him were the night before.
The same spot. Now,
Except this time Bernardo's sitting in Rico's seat.
as these other two regulars, as they are, sit, a new face appears, walking in doors of the tavern. Well, did she? Because you didn't see her come in. But then, there she is. A woman whose beauty shocks you upon her very arrival. Almost transfixed, do you feel? And then she turns in your direction, climbs up the stairs, and approaches this seat to say, "May I join you all? Is this seat taken?"
You may join if you know how to play. We won't go easy on you.
He says, "Oh, I know how to play." She has a seat. The other two look towards Bernardo with curious glances. Rico's got him rattled. And the woman will say, "Oh, well, what's your name, might I ask? Fine, clean gentleman?"
I am Bernardo Shagwell, scion of the House of Shag, finest carpet makers this side of the Empire.
"Carpets?
And you are?
Nothing's a home without a carpet. My name's Io. It's a pleasure to meet you."
Likewise, Io. Shall we deal you in?
Oh, sure. At which point, as you're dealing the cards, does Rico come thundering into the space. He says, "Ha! My opponent at last!" And approaches the table. She'll say, "Oh, I see someone's here." And she'll abdicate the seat to lean against the wall just next to this lantern. Rico will sit down saying, "I see you've dealt me in already."
Indeed, but this time you won't be cheating, you mangy cur. If there's any shenanigans from your part, we'll be going outside.
Careful who you call a mangy cur. You're the cheater, not me.
Oh, you have no proof of that, and my hand was dealt fair and square. You're the one adding cards to the deck.
And you gamble. And you continue. This night is crowned with the jewel of your tab being paid off by this wonderful new woman who brings drinks to you at the table. The other men kind of are confused at moments when it seems as though Your mug has refilled itself without their noticing. But nonetheless it has. She says, I hope you don't mind that I bought you a drink. I hope it's not too forward.
Why, thank you. Thank you. That's most kind of you. I'll be with you in a moment once I just thoroughly trounce this Rico cad.
And you win well. Rico doesn't cheat tonight, but he also doesn't go in for any big pots. And the game concludes, and Rico goes home. And Io says, Bernardo, I've got a bit of coin on me. I don't know if you have a fine lodging elsewhere, but this inn may be a finer sort than you're used to. I'd be happy to give you a room for the night. Shared or otherwise.
Certainly. The more the merrier, I always say.
And so will it be a shared room with this woman or not?
Sure.
Right.
Bernardo is always interested in new experiences.
All right. Will that be simply platonic or romantic?
All right, let's roll. Let's see.
Let's see.
All right, one platonic, two romantic. Platonic it is.
This night is like one with a friend you never knew you wished you had. She tells you stories of traveling, even far outside of the continent of Cadlia. Places beyond, to the Forsaken Lands, to Merdant and its realm. And you tell her all that you would wish of your rug business, your family legacy. What is Bernardo's quest, if it were at this time?
At this time, his quest is to bring the family name back into prominence, as he's much too lazy to run the business properly, and so he spends his time gambling instead of making business deals, hoping to get that big enough payout that his parents will accept him back into the family.
Io will say to you, can I show you a new form of business tomorrow? A form that might bring you more richness than ever you've known.
Certainly, his interest is very piqued.
So, on the next day, you will follow Io back to that district of those who are not so well off. Those who work day and night, and even then don't earn enough. And those who find themselves begging on the street. Families even, you can see, desperate of not knowing what to do as the cogs of the corporate wheel have spun in a way which they were crushed by. And Io will say, you found something today. It's going to bring a new life for you. One for the better. Those people are hungry. You have the power to give them a meal for the night. I want you, if you be willing to, try and hold out your hand, conjure a table full of food. It's right over there.
He laughs. Such a thing is absurd. First of all, I have no such power, and second, that's clearly outside the bounds of accepted behavior in this town. I'm in. He holds out his hand and imagines like this most lavish feast, but everything is tailored to what he would like instead of what anyone else would like.
As you do, it manifests a table filled with the finest halfling bakery. Perfectly cooked meat, and even some ale along the side.
Even the meat tastes like donuts.
And Io calls out, she says, "Come, all you hungry, all you willing. Come, enjoy upon Bernardo's fine feast." And while those around don't seem necessarily to respond, they do turn when she speaks and come excited, rushing towards this bounty. And they dig in, all taking food, golden smiles upon their faces when they taste it, when they feel their desperate hunger sated. They say, "Thank you, Bernardo." "Thank you, good sir." "Wow, thanks."
Just remember the House of Shag for all your fine carpeting needs.
And they'll nod with appreciation and say, "We will." And Io will turn to you as they leave the table. Say, "How did that make you feel?"
No, I don't really know. It's new, but you said this would make wealth beyond measure. What's the next part?
She places her hand upon your chest. She says, "Do you feel your heart beating?"
Yes. Question mark?
You do, as you normally do. Nothing's different. But she says, "Feel the wealth of kindness. Feel the wealth of giving. Giving without need for reciprocation, as it's but snap of your fingers. You've lost nothing. These people have gained everything."
And I can do this at will?
Yeah.
He just kind of makes a mental note to start charging them, low prices for the food.
As you think that, she frowns toward you and says, "Why?"
Because I must restore my house. I cannot take care of others if I cannot take care of my own people. My family.
What if I told you that what your house is missing isn't gold coins, but it's a golden heart?
I would say you haven't seen my house, fair lady. Last I was there, they had to dismiss the servants.
And perhaps I'll show you
Regardless.
other things you can do. Coin is
Okay.
important too. Tonight, why don't we earn all that we lost back from Rico? Why don't we give him an offer he can't?
Now that I like the sound of.
So, upon that next day, will you make your way back to the tavern?
Yes, but he's already like 4 cups in.
Excellent.
He's, mostly daydreaming about some money-making scheme with his new bakery powers.
Rico's back in
Enjoy
his
how he
old
thinks they're
seat,
bakery magic.
as are you. Io stands over your shoulder, your new friend, smiling. You look at the hand that you've drawn, points at it. You thought it was a bad hand, but it's actually the best possible hand. There's no way he can beat this without cheating. She says, "Don't worry about the cheating, at least not from him tonight."
Interesting. Rico, you dirty dog. Prepare to lose everything again.
You hear the sound of the door swing. Several Vergent Inquisitors, Mage Hunters, step into the space and head over to the tavern to drink. You play your hand out. Are you going all in?
Absolutely, and he pays no mind to anybody else who's not involved in the game because he just doesn't care, and he feels like he hasn't done anything wrong. So why would anyone care what he does?
Rico looks at his hand and he smirks and he says, "You've lost your last brain cell, shorty." He reveals his hand. And as he looks down on it, he gasps. He says, "But that was... Huh? No! That's not..." And he shifts the cards around. Desperate. Will you reveal your winning hand?
I do, and then I proceed to thoroughly insult him for not even having a brain cell to begin with. It looks like you finally gotten your due, you slime.
He says, That's not witchcraft! Wizardry! That's magic,
No
it is!
such thing. You've been cheating me for years. Now you finally lose. You're the witch. You're the witch.
And Io says, "This is where things are about to get interesting for you and I." The two Virgin Inquisitors step into the space, and they perform a simple kind of magic, an investigative magic, a magic to detect the presence of mages. Their eyes focus on you, Bernardo. One of them steps forward, manacles in hand, and says, "Sir, you are under arrest for being a mage."
I am no such thing. Rico is. Just ask him. He's been cheating at cards for years. And then, realizing that they're not buying his bullshit, he draws his rapier and runs out the door.
As you attempt to, roll an acrobatics check.
Ah!
One of the Inquisitors wraps their arms around you, and as you draw your rapier, it slips out of your hand and clacks to the floor. And then it vanishes. Io vanishes. But her voice is still in your ear, and she says, "This is just the beginning of our journey. And when it's done, you will have the finest carpet-making business in all the world. You will have all the gold coins you could ever want. And I hope your heart will be filled with golden light and love. But first we have to get something of mine."
Being drunk already, he just thinks, or he actually screams it out loud. What have you done, you silly strumpet?
And this brings us to the frozen wastes as a cart clacks down the road, and for the first time, the three of you and a gnome
Oh,
meet.
right, him.
Aaron, since that time, what have your thoughts been on your encounter with a strange woman of immense power before you were captured?
Pretty much, she wishes she could have gone with her.
Hmm.
And she's very sad for like a future basically that she never got to have.
And Rhiannon, what are your thoughts on your discovery in the cave?
Well, at least it was a little better than just making a flower. But a lot of guilt because she got people killed.
Bernardo, what are your thoughts on this quest, which, during your journey, the voice of Io has continued to fill you in on, saying that, truly, she has not been noticed by those around you because they can't see her. Only you can. Only you that holds the sword which imprisons her. you need to find 6 stones to let her free. You'll be able to cast even more powerful magic as you find these stones hidden within this tower where mages are kept. Once you have those stones, the House of Shag will truly be restored.
He doesn't believe her one bit. He's not on. He's a very self-centered person. Her whole spiel of the bleeding heart, feed the homeless kind of stuff doesn't sit well with him. And all he knows, or all that he is holding on to, is the fact that she got him arrested. And so, if he does let her out of the blade, it's just to get, just to have words with her.
Okay.
But going along with that, he figures, well, I don't really, it's her fault. Everything's her fault. Nothing's his fault. But he's going to go ahead and do it anyways.
Roll me a religion check, lastly, to inform your knowledge after spending some time around library in the tower. You will have definitely refreshed your knowledge on the deities of these worlds and identified that Io is, in fact, a goddess of knowledge, the goddess of knowledge, and owns the greatest library ever imagined. And so, as your dream concludes and you all wake within the morning, you're all aware of these new revelations. Bernardo, of Io, her possible deistic nature, as well as landing you in this predicament. Rhiannon, of the truth of the Virgin Crystals and what they are connected to, at the very least. And Aaron, of the possible future that may still be out there for you. So as you all wake, what thoughts cross your mind?
As Bernardo wakes up, the inhabitants of the next room over hear him yell at the top of his lungs, "I was framed!" Begins to mutter.
And because their beds share a wall, he probably also hears Rhiannon sobbing like a baby. Because it's just like partially stress, partially guilt, just kind of loses it.
Aaron, any notable reactions that those around you might observe?
Nothing super noticeable, but she's deep in thought about trying to figure out a way to get out to find that woman.
There is a hole in the side of the tower as of now. You see Lulubelle, who is just clutching this vial, heavy, filled with bluish liquid that softly glimmers. She stares at it and just says, "All the eons," transfixed by the item in her hands. And that is where we are going to conclude our story for today.
Does Lulu appear human? I just forgot if she
Yes.
didn't. Okay, she appears human. Okay, thanks.
So, upon our next story, you may begin your training with blood mages. You may begin to attempt to unravel the secrets of the Mage Tower. And you may meet new faces, as the interest of what occurs in this place is now to others as well. I will see you all next time.